Section, Sutra, spoken by the Awakened One. We are on section 12. So, Michael, can you read us the 20th difficulty?
Section a list of difficulties and an exhortation to cultivate. The Buddha said, people encounter 20 different kinds of difficulties. It is difficult to give when one is poor. It is difficult to study the way when one has wealth and status. It is difficult to abandon life and face the certainty of death. It is difficult to encounter the Buddha Sutras. It is difficult to be born at the time of the Buddha. It is difficult to be patient with lust and desire. It is difficult to see fine things and not seek them. It is difficult to be insulted and not become angry. It is difficult to have power and not to abuse it. It is difficult to come in contact with things and have no thought of them.
Okay, we'll stop right there. So this one, good evening, my dear children. Today is July 18, 2018. Welcome back to our meditation and class. So tonight we will look over this sutra, the sutra in 42 sections. We continue to study. So this section 12, the Buddha lists the 20 difficult things. So when you read it, and you have to contemplate and to see if it is true or not, right? So don't believe what the Buddha said. You have to see it, and if it's true, then believe it, and if not, then you let it go. So the first thing he says is difficult to give in one is poor. Why is that? And generally, when we give in, just like last time we talked about giving, right? The first thing we give what? Materials. The second? What?
Time.
Your time. Okay. What do we study? The third thing giving. The first is materials. The second is the Dharma, the teaching. The third is non-fears. Everything is gone already. So materials, Dharma, non-fear. This is the three things that's giving. So here we talk about giving materials. Giving is difficult when one is poor, because when we think that we are poor, we have nothing to give, right? That's true or not? Yeah, it's not. It's like if you are so poor, but you can give your time, just like us say, effort. We don't have to give materials. We have to give by love, compassion, right? So it's difficult to give. We talk about the three things giving: the giving of materials, the giving of the teaching. But if you are don't know the teaching, then it's difficult to give it, right? Like if somebody gets stress, anxiety, fear, if you don't know the teaching, then you are poor, right? So you are poor in the what? In the Dharma. And the third is the poor in the non-fear. Just like somebody fears, but you cannot help him release the fear, this means you are what? You are poor, right? So you have to contemplate these three giving. Materials. We can give materials, but we cannot give the Dharma. we cannot save our family. Just like our family have difficult time, stress, anxiety, fear, we cannot able to help him. That means we are poor, right? Even though we have a lot of money, rich, but we consider ourselves poor in mental, right? But we can be rich in physical, but poor in mental. So he talked about it's difficult to give one is poor. But in general, when a person who is very poor, they have nothing to give materials, but they can give you time, the effort. You can give, it's like if you have a bowl of rice, right? But when you eat, you cannot help other people, but you can help other what? The ant, the insect, the bird, right? So that's giving. Even though we don't have a lot of materials, but we can give. Or if you have an extra clothes, you don't have to give a lot of clothes to poor people, but you can give one or two, your leftover, your extra one, right? So he said that it's difficult when we are so poor about the teaching, about materials, or non-fear. It's also we are so poor because we are selfish. If we are selfish, we consider ourselves what? Poor. If not, you have a lot of money. Rich people is a billion people. Sometimes they are what? They consider poor because what? They're greedy. They greed. Their money. They don't want to give it up. So themselves what? Poor. But for you, you are middle class. You are poor class, but you giving, sharing money, material. You consider yourself what? Rich. You see that? So rich and poor depend on your heart, depend on your mind, right? If you are a poor person, but you are always giving, smiling, love, compassion, non-hatred, that's considered rich. But you are rich, a millionaire, you are selfish, you greedy, you make people difficult, angry, frustrated, right? That's considered poor, right? So here he talk about a person who is selfish, ego, are considered poor, right? Not giving. Even though you have a lot of money, you have a lot of materials, but you don't give it up. Like if we all have compassion, love, and kindness, but we don't share with our family member, we don't share with the people we love, right? We always angry, frustrated. So this is the first difficult thing to give when one is poor. And then the second one to talk about is difficult to study the way when one is wealth and start. Is it that? Status. So, that is true or not? The way here is the Dharma teaching. Rich here considered millionaire. If millionaire people, they always probably 80 something or 90% of people, they don't study the Dharma. Why? Because they're busy counting the money, right? Working. They don't have time to study the way, right? So it's difficult when you are rich. Because when you're rich, you have everything with you. You don't need to study, right? But today's society, a lot of rich people, they need to study the way. Because a lot of rich people, they're rich in materials, but their minds, they always have stress. That's why you see a lot of rich people, billionaire, they kill themselves, suicide. Because they're rich in material, but they're not rich in mental, right? So most healthy, rich people, they don't have time to practice, right? They're always working, making money, right? So that's why study the way is very difficult for them. And the second one is stated. Is static or static?
Status.
States. What is state?
Position.
Yeah. It's like if you are a powerful person, it's like you are president or you are a big government. It's hard for you to go to study the Dharma, right? You always have your ego. You say, I'm the most powerful person. So it's very hard. I mean, If you have power and influence and rich, you always enjoy life, right? You don't have time to study. You got all the materials in the world you want to get, right? So it's very difficult. The Buddha says it's difficult, but everybody can do it. Just like during the Buddha time, a lot of rich, powerful people, they put their time to study the Dharma. Right? Just like king, queen, prince, princess, right? They put their time to study. So it depends on that person, not all people. So it depends on. But in general, he says general, if you are rich and powerful, it's hard to study the Dharma. Why? Any millionaire study the Dharma in here? Or millionaire, right? Or rich people, right? Sometimes they spend their time collecting money, counting money, and working. But sometimes they work 24 hours, right? They try to work. They don't put their time on study the way. But during the Buddha time, it's different. There are a lot of rich people, king, queen, or prince, princess. They put their time to study because they know that all this material will be impermanent. Today you are rich, next morning you are a homeless person. Right? You see a lot of rich people. They suddenly overnight they become homeless, right? Because they use all the merit and virtue. They don't accumulate. They don't give it. They don't do all those stuff. So that's why study the ways can overcome your suffering. If you even though you are a millionaire and then you overnight you become homeless, you can be happy by studying the way. So study the ways help you to overcome all the situation when it's come to you. Like a stock market, right? One moment you are rich, and then a couple of hours you are what? You are poor, right? So if you study the way, the Dharma, it will overcome something because everything is impermanent. So once you understand everything is impermanent, nothing stays forever, then you enjoy the teaching. So that is the second difficulty. The third is difficult to bear that in life and face certain of death. This means that you're about to die, but you don't want to die. Because why? You hang on this life. Oh, I have my mom and dad, or my brother, my sister, I don't want to let go. Like people stay in CI, what we call CIU, CPU, right? CIU, ICU. So whatever, people hang on, they try to hang on, even though they are sick, disease, cancer, they want to live. Because it's hard for them to let go of this body, this life, right? So that's why this is a story, I think last week, one of the lady, she and her husband are in love together. He's about 95 and she's like 80 something, 85. And the days, every day she's singing the song, I love you, I love you. And then that husband, he's afraid of dying because he missed that love, he attachment. So the day he died, he don't want to let go. You see that? That doesn't mean attachment. Even though during the moment he died, she sing that song for him. And then he don't want to let it go. So that is very difficult. Right? So here our practice is what? To love with infinity, not the love of desire. If you love with desire, that person cannot let go. Even though they're dying, they don't want to go. That person will be suffering. So if you love that person, you have to let him or her go. Don't hang on. That's why in tradition, if you make that person desire, they become spirit, they become ghosts, hungry ghosts. They cannot recall a different form because they're attachment. And they have nobody to. So when you That's why when they're about to die, usually monks and nuns come and preach to them. Let go of this body. Don't hang on. This body is impermanent. This body is not you. So if you let go of this body, you have a new body. But if you try to hang on this body, then you become a hungry ghost. That's why in our tradition we have hungry ghosts, because they have no body. They try to hang on this body, but this body is dying already. So they are attachment. So that's why when we teach our disciple, when your mom, your dad pass away, don't sit right there and cry. Right? Don't get emotion too much, because they will attach to you, and it's hard for them to let go. So that's why we have to love. It's like we have family member. We can get emotion, it's okay, but we have to go to a separate room to cry to the man. We have to learn to let that person go. Right? So it's very difficult for the person we love all our life. It's time to let it go. So that's why we have to learn every day to let go by minute by minute. So that's his happiness right there. Right? So the infinity, or we call endless love, the love is never disappear. But the attachment, the desire love, the love will bring us person suffering. Right? So you have to be careful what is love, infinity love, and attachment love. Attachment love will bring you and him or her suffering. Right? So that's why we have to learn that let go of this body, this breath. It's like you breathing in. You are attached to this breath. You don't want to let it out. And what? And you die. So we have to bring it in, let it out. Our body is like a breath. Right? We always breathe in and breathe out. We cannot just hang on our breath. If you hang on your breath, then you will die. Or when you blow out, you don't want to bring it in, then you also die, right? So we have to let everything naturally arise and fall, rise and fall. So that is true infinity love. If you love that person, you have to let that person go. To find their peace, find their calm, happiness. If you hang on it, that person will be suffering. Right? So that's why in monks or monastic, when we have to go to a funeral, right? So we have to able to teach them, help them to relieve their pain, their suffering, because they are attachment. Right? Sometimes difficult, but we have to let go. Sooner or later, everybody have to go. Nobody lives forever, right? You understand the law of permanent, right? You cannot love or you cannot hate that person forever. Only what? Only love, compassion, infinity, right? But you cannot hang on this body forever. So that's why once we understand the way, the Buddha teaching, the awakened teaching, we're able to understand the whole situation, the whole the law of impermanence. So it is difficult to abandon life and face the certain of life, death. I mean, it's difficult to face the death situation. Anybody have experienced death before? Some of you, right? Anybody have second life in here? Generally, people who have second life, they respect life more, because once they pass away and they live again, they like what we call gratitude, cherish life more stronger, because they already passed. They like have a second chance. Most people have disease, cancer. They thought they already died, right? Or you have a big accident, you thought you already died, but you're living, right? So that person, they live life more strong, more precious. Right? They respect each moment, each second they're living. But for us, we generally don't. We say, oh, nothing happened to me. I just live and enjoy life. Right? So that's why when we are able to understand Everybody have a dream when you are dying, your dream. Everybody? Yeah, some of you, right? So when you have a dream that you're dying and then you awaken and then what? You're so happy. You love life more. You try to do good things, right? So that is a good lesson. Like if you have if we do something always bad, and suddenly we have a dream, the demon come and try to chop our head or something, then we stop. We wake up, we stop doing bad things, we doing what? Good thing, right? So all the thing is our lesson to learn. Right? So this is very essential from our life. We can learn from the experience of our death, second chance living, or the thing that we did in our life that's bad, now we try to do good. So everyone has a second chance. Just like when we are a kid, we play, and suddenly we break something very important from our mom or our dad, something that is very, very important for them. But we always think that when they go home, they will kill us. We are afraid, and we pray that we have a second chance, right? We are all afraid of telling, right? You ever have that when you're a child, when you're a kid? Yeah, we don't have that. Right? In my life, I have a lot of those things. We are afraid. And then we have a second chance where we learn that lesson. Then we be, what we call, be more curious, more precise. So that's a very essential lesson for us. So through our life, we have another lesson to learn. Every day we wake up, there's always something, right, to learn. Good thing, bad thing, horrible thing, right? We learn a lesson. So don't run away from your horrible or terrible or bad luck problem. This is a lesson to learn. To make you become a better person. Just like one of the scientists say, without 999 mistakes, I will not invent this material. So he had 1,000, at least 1,000 try invent something, but without this 999 fail, you will never pass, right? So in our life, the same thing. Always think up and down. Our life, from marriage, from children, from daily life, we all have problems. That is the good lesson to learn, right? To transform our bad thing to good thing. So that's number 3. Number 4 is difficult to encounter the Buddhist Sutra. Why is it difficult to encounter the Buddhist Sutra? Usually we have a lot of Buddha's teaching, but we never touch the Buddha teaching. This means you can read, but you don't understand. You don't know how to practice. Just like we walk in a forest, and suddenly there's many ways. We don't know where to. We lost. We don't know what way to get out. So the Buddha's Sutra is the same thing. Like we lost in this environment. There's so many teaching. Today there's a lot of Buddhist meditation center, but you don't know what you want to pick. It's like 84,000 methods. You don't know where to begin, right? So that's why it's difficult to encounter the Buddhist Sutra, because you can see it, you can touch it, but you put into practice is very difficult. That's why it's very difficult to encounter the Buddhist Sutra. Number 5 is difficult to be born at the Buddha time, right? But now you are born in a what? In the Dharma ending age. Right? In Buddhism, we have divided out 3 periods. The first period we call the Buddha Dharma age. The second is the progress of Buddha Dharma almost ending. So we are in the ending of the Buddha Dharma teaching. Right? It's almost go disappear. So it's difficult to be born at Buddha time, because if you are lucky, you're born in Buddha time, you met the Buddha, you study the Buddha way, you get enlightenment fast, because the Buddha directly teaching you, right? It helps you to get enlightenment fast. Number 6 is difficult to be patient with lust and desire. It is true or not? Lust and desire, patient. It's like if we desire something, then it's difficult to be patient. Like you love chocolate, and suddenly you walk in the store and then suddenly chocolate there. Then what? Your patience is difficult. You just want to grab it and put it in your mouth. Or if you are hungry, you drive your car about 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and suddenly you walk in, you're so hungry and you're thirsty. It's difficult to be patient, to wait in line. You have to what? You have to want to get cut all the people and get the food or the water right away. Just like the restaurant, the same thing. Like if you drive in the highway about 3 or 4 hours, and suddenly you rush in the restaurant and there's a long line. Are you patient to wait or you just knock everybody out and go to the restaurant? Right? So it's difficult to be patient when things arise, thing, desire, lust, or whatever, difficult come to you. It's like we always like to be cool. It's like too hot. And then there's a house very cool, and then what? There's a line. You have to be patient to get in the house, to turn when we want to what? To rush in and get that cool environment. To be patient. So the Buddha say it's very difficult when the lust, desire arise in your mind. Whatever desire arises, right? It's difficult to be patient. Anybody have a good patience in here? What's the opposite of patient? Huh? Impatient? Impatient, right? Are you impatient or you are patient? You can test. You can go and try it out. Just like you go to a doctor. I think 3 weeks ago, I went to a dentist, and he opened my mouth 4 hours to do my teeth. I just lie there and let him do whatever. But this old guy, old patient, dentist, he was almost 70. His hand is tired, and he always put his hand in my jaw too. So I opened 4 hour mouth and he put his hand on my mouth too. I feel tired, but I say, at that time I don't get mad, get angry at him. I say, oh, I'm sorry, he's old. His hand is more tired than me. So I let him put his hand on my mouth. Right? Because imagine you do it for 3 or 4 hours, one tea, your hand gets tired, right? Especially old people. Right? If you're a young man, this is okay. Right? So that is the lesson to learn from my experience. Always open your mouth almost 4 hours, right? Everybody open your mouth 4 hours here? Usually, I think last couple of times, usually a dentist, he work 1 hour, he have to break. But this dentist say continue. He just when he enter do it, he just do it. He cannot stop. Right? Sometimes the people. So that is patient right here. Lying there, open your mouth, let him do. Okay, it is difficult to be patient with lust and desire. Number 7 is difficult to see 5 things and not seeking them. So when you see something that you like, you always what? You want to want it, right? But that is difficult. Like you walk in the market and suddenly, oh, your favorite thing. Then you want it. If you cannot have it, you get mad, you get frustrated, you go home, you cannot sleep. I heard that a lot of women, they like diamond, right? Everybody like diamond in here? That's true? Usually when you marry, you want your husband to get a big ring, right? Is that true or what? Probably 80-90%, right? They want their husband to get a big diamond ring. But when they go to the mall or whatever, the diamond jewelry store. When they see diamond, they cannot have it and go on the dream about it. Right? So that's why when you see five things, the thing that you like, you cannot have it. So like food, the same thing. Or you walk in the store and suddenly you like, oh, that's good, I want to have it. Right? And then you grab it. So it's very difficult to be see five things you cannot, like, you want to get it. That's number 7. Number 8 is difficult to be insult and not become angry. Everybody get not become angry by insult somebody. Somebody insult you and you don't get angry. Anybody?
No.
Most of us, right? When people insult us, we get angry. Why do we get angry? Anybody know?
Ego.
Yeah, your ego. You have no ego, then you don't get angry. Just like you walk in and somebody say, "Oh, Laura, you're so stupid." Then what?
Okay.
Right?
That's
So-
your opinion.
Yeah. There you go. So we have to practice. That's good practice, right? So Laura is on her path of enlightenment. Right? So that is the way to see ourselves. Somebody we walk in, our co-worker or people around us insult us, we don't get angry. Doesn't mean we are in a good way of practice. We are developed strong practice. So it's very difficult to be patient when we get somebody get insulted. Everybody get insulted in here? From your work or your family or your brother or sister? Right. Sometimes our sister, we get insult us, we get angry, right? We're not be patient. So that's why we have to learn. Whoever insult us, we have to be patient, to be calm, to love, compassion. If you get angry easily, when you are not on the right path. You're on the wrong path. So that's number 8. Anybody have difficult time here? Okay, number 9. It is difficult to have power and not to abuse it. Because that's very difficult, right? The power people, they want always abuse. Just like today's society, a lot of power people, they abuse their employees, they abuse sometimes in the family. A powerful father or mother, they abuse the children, opposite other way around. So it's difficult to have powers and not to abuse it. Just like if you have some kind of power, you hate somebody, you always use what? You always use your power. Right? You can be a president, you will be a governor, whatever. Right? If you have that power, people insult you, people make you angry, then you use that power to destroy them. Right? That's why a lot of rich, powerful people can always destroy lower people. Right? So it's very difficult not to use them. And number 10, it is difficult to become in contact with things and have no thought of them. Because it's very difficult. I mean, when you see things but not attached to it, that's difficult, right? When you see a beautiful flower, you attach to a beautiful flower. You see beautiful vehicle, cars, you attach to cars, right? Or clothes, or diamonds, whatever, or human, people, right? The men attached to woman attached to men, right? That is natural, but it's very difficult. When we face an object, whatever the object we like, and we see things like this. So that is our training, our minds not to attach to anything. So that is the 10 difficulty. There's 20 of them. So next week we will study the other 10. So today you understand this 10 things, and you have to use your daily life to see. I want you to use this 10 things and practice your whole week to see what is difficult. For example, when you see somebody insult you, do you get angry? Right? Or people try to do something to you, or people have power. It's like you say, I'm the father, I'm the mother, I force you to do this. Right? You use any power. Or I'm a doctor, you're a patient, you have to follow my order. Right? You have to have that power and you use it. Right? Sometimes we use that power, but we don't know. We have to contemplate to see. So this 10 thing you apply and just see if you have caught on this 10 thing. If some is one of the 10 things you caught in, you should circle, and you have to ask yourself why. Right? So that's our practice. The practice to see what is your difficult, what's your attachment, and then you can fix it. Right? So this week we have the whole week to see the 10 things and apply your daily life, hours by hours, minute by minute, to see how you're practicing. How your minds arise. Is there any anger, stress, fear, anxiety, anything that the 10 things that overcome you? So if the 10 things overcome you, mean you are on the right path that you are practicing. You are still weak. Right? So we will start right here. Do you have any question, comment? Anything that you would like to experience for the 10 things?
I guess I'm a little confused with the encounter of Buddhist sutras, just because they're hard to follow.
Yes, it's hard to read. You can read, but it's hard to explain,
To practice.
to practice. So you can read, but put into practice is very difficult. Just like the 10 things.
Yeah.
You can read, you can contact, but you put into practice. And then you get enlightenment. That's another difficulty too. Anybody question, comment? Or anything that you'd like to share from your difficulty? Yes?
Did you get to go to Florida last week, and how was that?
Oh, that's another question. Yes, I went to Orlando, Miami last Thursday. I came back on Tuesday. So I went to give a Dharma talks in Miami. It's called Family Reunion. So more 800 people. It's the last name. Usually, only our tradition, only our village. Usually I'm born in our village. Our tradition is to every year or every 3 years we have reunion, all brother, sister, cousin, everybody. So we have 4 generations. Right? They come together. If they all come together from the United States, 50 states, probably over 2,000. But most of them they have to work. So around 800. Most of our cousins, second, third generation, 4th generation. So every 3 years they come together from all over the United States to get a family tree, like a family tree, this branch. And then every year they have, each state they have family reunion is small. So like that state only have 100, they come and reunite. And to see the generation, their brother, they're able to recognize their cousin, their second cousin, third cousin. Because in our tradition, we cannot marry second or third cousin. We have to marry somebody not in our second generation. Right? So you have to be like somebody further the 4th generation, not the 3rd generation. So that's a good, yeah. When all Miami visit all the family members from Orlando to Miami. Yes?
Okay, so you preach to your family members, like blood family?
Yes, family reunion. our generation.
Wait, so it wasn't a village, it was like,
It's only our last name.
so
It's
like,
like 4 generation. Yes.
okay.
You understand? Okay. I don't think you understand.
So there, so, yes.
Only we have a
Oh, okay, okay,
generation.
that makes sense, that, it's just a really huge family.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna have it, right? Only family reunion, only brother, sister, club, but you don't have the 3 generation or 4 generation. So we're able to know our first generation. We have 10 generation. Mine is 10 generation already. So I know my 9, my 8, my 7, my 6. So all this generation. Because our tradition, our units in Vietnam, every time we have to do this, we have to write down who's, and what people, where we come from. So they have a what we call a tree, family tree. So we recognize. I don't think you can have, right? It's like you know you are come from or you original from. So every week you get to come here. Okay, a different question? Just a good trip, thing to learn. My first time anyway. They invite me to this year to give a Dharma talk. Got a lot of young children, most of them are 400. They were born here, they don't speak any Vietnamese. So I have to give some English lecture to because usually the generation, the parent escaped from Vietnam and all the children born here, they don't learn any Vietnamese. Probably a little bit, but not a lot. So the old generation will die and then the new generation will take over. So we have to give them the teaching. Okay, next question. Yes, Danielle, the question me.
Nobody else is asking.
There we go.
There you go. Last week we studied section 11, and the basic idea, to my understanding, is that it's much better to give food to good people, because if you give the food to evil people, they'll probably just keep doing evil things.
Yes.
But what if there's somebody who seems kind of maybe evil in a way, but it's maybe because they haven't received any love? And maybe, you know, if you gave them some food, maybe they would take that act of kindness and possibly start on a better path.
That's a different story.
That's a different story.
Yeah. So he only said the basic, that you feed evil people, they will do more bad things. But if that change, that's good.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at a recreation center for several years. And most of the kids who came in were pretty disadvantaged. And they had broken families.
Yes.
They had
So that's a different story. He talked about here that the evil is a people, just like your marriage. You plant your marriage, you have a seed, you plant to a bad person, they will destroy your marriage. But if you plant a good marriage, good person, they will increase your marriage virtue. They use your food to do good things, multiply. But you can feed that person and always doing bad things, and your seed will destroy. You see, but that is the thing that you give example. That's a different story.
Well, it's a little different. But
Yes.
a lot of kids did have bad behavior.
Yes.
And I think it helped them
Yeah.
to get some attention
Yes.
and somebody who cared about them.
So that is our teaching. It means we have to try to do all the try to transform bad people into good people. I mean, not just destroy them. That's the main teaching. But here he gives example that you should not continue to feed up people, even though they continue doing bad things. They're like a person use alcohol, drug. You just feed them drug and alcohol, then they become bad. We have to do something. So feeding here is different It means they are addicted to something. If they are addicted to drug, you cannot feed them drug more. It means you lost your virtue. Now you understand? If they are addicted to drug or alcohol or whatever, you just feed them nothing, they will do nothing.
Right, but the example was food.
Mhm.
That was what was in the sutra.
Yeah, the food is the mental food. Can be drugs, can be whatever. So this is only general to children. You have a question, Michael?
I was just gonna ask, and you answered it kind of,
That's
that
it.
food is both metaphoric and
Yes.
literal.
What was your answer, Michael?
Well, the Buddha is using the word food in kind of an ambivalent way, as a metaphor and as a literal thing. Because he said, like, your seed,
Yeah.
wisdom or whatever, which would be metaphoric, but then food being a bad substance would be literal application or interpretation.
Okay, everybody have a comment? Yes.
Adding on to
Daniel?
Benjamin.
Daniel.
Sorry, my bad. Adding on to
You don't matter.
well, I mean, if you're using a metaphor of food, it should be kind of the same. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it should be the same. Like, I think personally, it should be the same for bad and good people. And I feel like, so like, if we used it, like, if food was the same for bad and good, so like, it was just food, I feel like if you keep on giving bad people food eventually, like, I feel like everybody can change. Like, anybody can change with, like, compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you give them food. So wouldn't that be like if I could change like a bad person to do good deeds rather than giving food to someone with good deeds,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
like wouldn't that increase my merit?
yes, it will be increased more. But that is like bad person become good. But if that bad person become bad, then your merit will be destroyed.
Yeah, but you should keep on trying, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What if you think like giving food to a bad person? What if you believe that when you do that, then like they'll try at least to be a good person? But what happens if they don't?
So you have to ask them. Yes.
Are we talking like when you have a choice? It's like you have a choice to bring food to the temple, or
Yes, you have a choice.
to
Yes.
take food to the people who are going to be rolling it down to after.
Yeah, you have a choice.
You have a choice, and I think I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm thinking maybe the time the Dharma is being written, they don't want to put like a car, food,
Yes.
drugs. Like if they put an extract, etc., just a large amount. But if I know probably a kid doesn't have a driver's license, I'm not. I believe if I want to give them a ride, I'll let them ride in my car while I'm driving. Then I'm gonna here's a car key, just drive the car, you know.
Yes.
So
So here he talk about feeding that make them more bad. Just like I talk about drug and alcohol. Right? The person already addicted to drug, you cannot just feed them more drug. Your merit and virtue will be decreased. Right? So this is too variety, too general.
But would you still be like a good person if a bad person was like starving and they needed food, but you knew that they weren't going to turn a good person?
Mm-hmm.
Would that increase your merit and virtue?
Yeah, it will be increased. The merit and virtue, if they're able to do well, good. Even if they are bad. That's why in the United States today we have to have people who are bad, like we in prison, we train them, right? We try to convert these bad people into good. There's a lot of merit and virtue. But here we talk about that person you are addicted to drug and alcohol, you feed them more. Because the term food here is very difficult to translate to general.
I think people are getting caught up on
Yes.
trivialities because it's part of a long construct, and the point
Yes.
is in the end about that single person without thoughts, without dwelling, without cultivation, without accomplishment, as Tai was telling us before.
So you have to read the whole thing, not just there and then stop. Oh, why don't we give to the bad people? It's not like that. It's the main thing is to practice giving selfishness, egoless, and to become enlightened. So if you say giving, that is to worldly thing. Giving here means let it go, don't hang on it. If a person who practices and let it go, don't hang on it, they get enlightenment fast. But if a person feeding people and they attach to the feeding, they don't get enlightenment. You see that? So we get out of the system of feeding. He talk about feeding here means let go. Don't hang on. Like bad thought, you cannot continue to feed bad people. You can consider bad thought. If you have bad thought already and then feed more bad thought, then what? Your mental virtue will increase. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you have bad thought and then you continue thinking bad thought. Doesn't mean you're feeding bad people bad thought. People here is bad thought. And then if you have anger, you feed you more anger, and your mental virtue will increase. That's the way to look at it. Do you understand? Here we go. And then if you feed a bad thought, it's not merit feeding good thought, because good thought is good, right? You get merit virtue, but not as you let go of the bad and the good too. You see that? So he talked about the training our mind, not giving material outside. Training our mind to the end is feeding thousand million of Buddha, not as much as merit virtue feeding your own Buddha, awakening your Buddha nature. I mean, go back to your Buddha nature is more merit virtue than searching for the Buddha around you. That's good.
And then at that point, you'd be able to discern who is worthy and who is going to, detract from your accomplishment.
Yeah. So this section is very difficult to understand for beginner, but if you go deeper, you talk about your mind. Because all the sutra relate to your mind, not the material side. If you misunderstand that, why don't we feed bad people? If you understand like that, that's wrong. Because we have to transform more bad people to be good people. That's considered selfish, right? But here we talk about the mind. You understand now? Kind of.
I'm sorry that I disagree with that.
Okay. That's fine.
He has a difficulty with that.
Yeah, difficult. Just let it be. Yes, go ahead.
I know what my difficulty is, at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
When you're aware, okay, at the retreat we were aware all day. It's really easy when you concentrate on it. I'm just, it's kind of a statement, but I'm not sure how to incorporate that in everyday life. Maybe just slow. I'm asking, but I'm thinking it out too. Just be aware. Is that a good approach if you're feeling like you're thinking bad thoughts or you feel like you're going to get angry? It's just to help. I know what the difficulty is. I'm just not sure how to stop it before it gets, to that point. So is that just being aware, more aware of how you're thinking before you think it?
Just like before we do something, we have to think, is it good benefit for me, for other people? I should do it, right? Because here our practice is to see our thought and aware of thought. If this lead me to good, to second step around, then I will do it. If it's bad, create more environment that's toxic, I should not do it. So awareness will help you to see your thought and to do better.
would tape on the mouth work?
Yeah, you can roll 7 times. You don't have to tape.
So, yeah, I think
That's
I
why
know
our
the
tradition
answer.
you roll 7 times. Before you say something, you get angry. So go back to Daniel system. Just like I told you, whatever you study the sutra that made you agree or disagree, let it go. Right? Don't attach to it. If you attach to it, you will never find the answer. So that's why most of us, we just read and we just attach to the word, and we cannot complicate. You see that? So that then we will suffocate. So the teaching is not to give you suffocate, give you to understand more. So sometimes if you don't understand, then put that there. Continue study, continue to practice, and someday, oh, now I understand. So that is your doubt. Your question maybe, put a question mark maybe. Today you don't understand, probably a couple of months, couple of years, you will understand. But don't suffocate with this answer or this question. That's why the teaching of the awakening, whatever is benefit for you, help you, take with you. Whatever is not benefit, help you, don't hang on. You see that? So this is the teaching. The teaching is not make you offended or complicated or accept a poison or headache the wrong way. Right? Because we have our life already stressful. We don't want to get caught here and get more stress. Right? So here is to help you to see the reality that it is. You accept it, you don't have to accept or you reject it, that it is.
Maybe just not overanalyze or take it
Yes.
so literal.
Because we cannot use our thinking mind to analyze. We have to use our non-thinking mind. Right? Because some, you have to use our non-thinking. Right? That's right.
But also might help Daniel and other people if they read this, because it's just an extract
Yes. Yes.
for a point. That if they read that within the context of the greater sutra that it comes from,
Yes.
that might.
Might help. That's why I want you to. There's many translators. Probably this translation is very difficult to understand, but you can read many other people translate. So all this thing is talk about you train your mind. Just like when we are young, we don't want to stay with bad people. We want to stay good people. We teach our children, stay away from bad people. Stay good people. You see that? But when you get older, you get stronger, you play with bad people, you try to transform them. So here he talk about feeding the same thing. Don't feed the bad people, mean don't stay. If you're not strong enough, don't stay. Like if you are a child, you cannot go out and play with gangster, smoke cigarette and pop, right? You have to stay away from them. This means stay good people. And when you're strong, you're professional, you come and help you. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay. Okay, next question, comment. Yes, go ahead.
Do you have any advice on how to be compassionate and generous with people that I don't see eye to eye with, or people I don't agree with?
Mm-hmm. So the main thing is that our compassion to all certain means is egoless, see ourselves emptiness. If your egoless is emptiness, in all comparison, the true nature of compassion, you love all, everyone, no exception, right? But you still have selfish, this I, this me, this mine, then it's very difficult to love with people not in contact with. Like our co-worker or whatever person we don't like, we cannot without love. Even though we try to love them, but we cannot, because you are not egoless here. You're still selfish. You're still attaching. So our practice is to be egoless, selfishness, and that love automatic by itself. You don't have to love them, don't love will engulf them. Right. So sometimes we say there's a meditation on love, metta. But the more you meditate, if you still have this ego, then the metta will not engulf them. So if all the love in this world, the true love, endless love is egoless, non-self, then that love will never disappear. But the desire, the craving love, the selfish love, the love will suffocate, not yourself, not people too. Or what we call pretending love. You're just pretending. Oh, I love you, but in the back. Right? So true love will never disappear. Whatever situation, time, there's no time and space. That's all we think. So that's why as a Buddhist monk, that's our practice, to be good, egoless. So our love is always generated by itself. We don't say, oh, I love you so much. We don't say that. Our love is automatic, come from our practice, from our true nature. Right. Generate from our heart. It's not artificial love, but genuine love. Okay. Any other question, comment? Good question tonight. All the children involved. How about you, Belle? Any question? Are you sleepy, Belle? She's only 5 years old. She's about to go to the school. She don't want to go to school because she says she will mistake. And she stay every day.
I have a comment. I've been reading about the soccer team in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
I know people said, well, I heard different versions. Like the coach taught the boys how to meditate. I just wondered if you had any thought on that. Or do they still teach Buddhism to young children? Is that the primary practice there? I just thought it weird that the coach taught the boys meditation. I would think that they know it already. That they say that's how they got through their fears, meditation.
What you talking about?
The boys in Thailand that were in the cave, the water rose,
Oh.
the big rescue.
Yeah, the story about the news, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they were just
So
rescued.
there's a group of children soccer players, they drop in a cave, and one of the teachers, they put a sign, do not enter this cave. And the teacher said, just go in, go in. And they just go in and then the water go off. So the teacher did not follow the sign. And then once they trap in there, they get afraid, fear, dying. Because in there you will die. So one of the teachers, he know meditate, he practice Buddhism. So they try to help them meditate, relax, calm, stuff. During the fear, anxiety. Because you're trapped in there, they will die. Right? But before they die, they have to do something, calm their mind. Right? So meditation is help every situation. At your works, at your situation is danger. So it's help all children. So your question is?
Oh, I just wondered if you knew anything.
Yes, we know, we saw. I think somebody said that the teacher did meditate to calm their mind.
Yeah, that's what I read is the coach taught the children how to meditate, but I would think they'd already be practicing.
Yeah, usually Thailand is a Buddhist country, 90%. So children, they learn when they are children about meditation. So they can be able to plan right away. No children is dying. All the kids get out well.
That's
Safety.
probably what helps save them. Meditation.
Compared to the meditation, the power of meditation. Okay, next question.
Can you what it was like to meet the Dalai Lama?
It's all gone.
Oh.
You can see the picture. Whenever I met a saint, a person who's like our master, I feel like home. I feel some positive energy. Yeah, it's like our master every year, every 2 years, 3 years we go. Because when you met a person who have true enlightenment, they have this compassion, general energy. You like to be with him. So I hope someday you can go to, I think in April, we will have a trip to Bhutan and to see the Dalai Lama. Yeah, in April. So, North India. Or sometimes you go to, just like I went to the Buddha enlightenment place, Bokaya. When you meditate, you feel different. Your mind more calm, more peaceful, because his energy is still here. Right? The Buddha even thought he enlightened for 2,500 years ago, but this energy of enlightenment is still here. So when you sit under the Bodhi tree, it's like more peace, more calm. Because everybody is like every day is million of people come visit, but every million people, their mind thinking goodness, compassion. That's why you feel that energy. Right? They generate that energy. It's not only from the Buddha, but from all the people, calm people. They want to be calm, peace, mind. When the group of people, 1,000, million of people, they have calm, peace, mind, you can feel that energy. Like with the saint people. Okay. Anybody further question? I'm on 9. No question? Okay, we'll recite the notes and then we go. Living beings are innumerable, I vow to save them all. Reflections are endless, I vow to write them all. The Dharma are uncountable, I vow to study them all. The Buddha ways in itself, I vow to attain it. I vow to the merit of virtue from this will go to everywhere, and reach everyone, so that all of us and all living beings will realize the Buddha.